Several years ago, my friend Rob Potter received a series of recorded messages from Commander Valiant Thor and Lady Orda, the Queen of Venus. Rob believed deeply in these messages. He asked me to transcribe the recordings so they could be presented at his 2023 Mount Shasta conference and shared through his website, The Promise Revealed. We began preparing this presentation, combining the original recordings with their written transcripts so the messages could be both heard and read. Unfortunately, the project was never completed. Rob has since passed away, but the messages remain, and they deserve to be seen by all people around the world, especially at this time in history. What follows are the original recordings, accompanied by the transcripts and images to help bring their words to life. I share them with you now in loving memory of my friend Rob Potter and in honor of his commitment to bringing a message of peace, love, and greater understanding to humanity. Rob, this one's for you.
Dear friends of Venus and Lightworkers assembled at Mount Shasta in Northern California this 22nd day of June 23rd for the opening ceremonies of the 23 Summer Conference, The New Spiritual Paradigm, Angels and Extraterrestrials in the Multidimensional Universe. This is the Queen, Lady Orda of Abahar, the planet of abiding love that you know as Venus, is speaking to you from a safe house situated somewhere on the east coast of the United States. I consider it a great honor for me to address you today. In the coming days, you will interact with many ascended souls touching your spirit to activate both a personal and collective transformation of consciousness, advancing you to yet higher levels of awakening and understanding. We have taken good note that many of you have already expressed your appreciation to Commander Valiant Thor, Alan, Lady Columba, Lady Aurora, Commander Aura Reigns, Dr. Frank E. Stranges, our historian Publius Virgilius Maro, our ambassador Omnek Onek, Helen and Betty Mitchell, Sister Thedra, Lady Ankara, and many others so dear to my heart, those of our angelic forces of light, for granting you access to night classes aboard our Victor class, cloaked and ethereal star vessels in orbit above our planet. We are also pleased that so many of among you have already recognized your callings and missions in preparing your fellow beings of Earth for overcoming the obstacles that are surely headed to your planet in the difficult days ahead, long foretold by the avatars and prophets sent among you since the beginning of recorded history. You, dear brothers and sisters in the light, are the fulfillment of the prophecy written by the Apostle Luke to the General Assembly of the Church of the Firstborn in Acts 2:16, which reads as follows: "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." Now, I feel at this point that I should say something to you about angels, since that's the theme of this most special conference. Your understanding of just who and what angels are is limited by the religious constructs imposed on you since birth. Apart from the atheists or agnostic, however, most believers in God and a hereafter can acknowledge the existence of a heaven or pleroma populated with both some of our dearly departed ones and a class of highly evolved spiritual beings commonly referred to as the angels. The word angel is derived from the Greek angelos, which simply signifies messenger. In the Bible, Standard King James Version, we find a compilation of 66 books consisting of 39 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament. We know that angels, therefore, are important insofar as they are mentioned 273 times in 34 of these 66 books. And in all of these references, we find angels always presented in the context of being otherworldly visitors of a primarily spiritual nature, but having the ability to appear to humans, in most instances, in a form similar to that of the human body, with slight variations. Reverend Dr. Frank E. Strange, who lived on Earth from the period of 1927 to 2008, and now resides in the Crystal City of Azure on Venus, was once director of the International Evangelism Crusade of Venusian, California, and a globally recognized authority of the subjects of extraterrestrial life and flying saucers. He now wants you to know that there are at least 4 classes of angels serving the inhabitants of the earth for various reasons: messenger angels, ministering angels, guardian angels, and reaper angels. These otherworldly entities frequently show up in the lives of human beings during their times of special need. Perhaps they will come to you in order to bring you safely through some distressing or dangerous situation, or perhaps to warn you of coming trials or catastrophe ahead. But in most cases, an angel will come to bring you words of spiritual knowledge, delivering secrets of the celestial realms, essential for your physical or spiritual salvation and eventual exaltation. Of course, these angels bring all of us such cosmic gnosis, not of their own accord, but as directed by the Father of Lights. And then, there is one classification of angels that long ago lost their privilege of serving humankind. These are the fallen ones, about 1/3 of the hosts of heaven that came from all 4 of these aforementioned categories of celestial servants, but put themselves in rebellion to the Creator of the universe and were, as a result of their defiance toward God, ousted from heaven. These are the ones you have to look out for, my friends, as they are lurking in all the dark corners of your world, ready to pounce on you like a roaring lion. In a previous message imparted to you by our beautiful Clarion Moon-based commander, Aura Reigns, she told you of the COVID pandemic, that it was but a foreshadowing of the pale horse prophecy in the Apostle John's revelation given from the Isle of Patmos in the year 99 of your common era. This was a direct sign that we are approaching the predicted 7-year period of tribulation, granting assurance to you, the saints of God in these later days, that the reaping angels are standing by to whisk you away to super Earth's paradise worlds now being prepared for you in the Sirius star system, a celestial incubator. And all of this in order that you be saved from alarm and danger when the 4 horsemen will ride across the sky and the blast of the 7 angels' trumpets will announce the pouring out of the vials of plagues and destruction upon the earth, such as have not been seen since the days of the prophets Noah and Moses. It's very important to act while there is still time. About these angels, they also appear to herald the birth of very important figures, or even those who would be emerging on the scene. Sometimes they would come to caution the world about an enemy who could potentially threaten it. There is another scripture from the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verses 6-7, which has great importance in our day. It reads as follows: "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters." This will be the last call, the last chance for many to escape in the rapture of the saints, the terrible calamities coming as foretold in the remainder of chapter 14. Do not hesitate to sound the voice of warning throughout the land. These visitors have been appearing since the beginning of time. If you go back into ancient history, you will find that in many cultures and civilizations all around the world, there is evidence of otherworldly visitors with wings who would come to speak with important figures on earth in whom they felt could help them in carrying out the contents of their messages. The wings, of course, quote unquote, are representative of this being's ability to fly. Overall, we know that there were messengers that came throughout time. And I will let you in on a little fourth dimensional Venusian secret. These angels also came to earth in and out of time. There was no partiality shown in the deliverance of the message geographically or spiritually. And so, do you want to know who is that angel flying in the midst of heaven? You, the light worker, are that angel. In fact, you were called to be an angel before you were ever incarnated on the earth plane. And that is your calling, dear one, to be a messenger of the light and spread the gospel or good news of the coming degrees of glory and exaltation that await each and every child of God, should they step up into that marvelous light. And please keep in mind Dr. Frankie Strange's and Lady Encara's favorite verse, Hebrews 13:2, which clearly explains each and everyone's highest calling on earth's material plane. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Exercising kindness is the key that unlocks the door to celestial riches, both abundant and eternal. Hold on to your heads, dear ones. We are all in for a real roller coaster ride in the next decade. This is the Queen, Orda of Abahar. Thank you for your kind attention.
Communique from Victor Fleet Commander Valiant Thor to the elect pilgrim souls on Earth's material plane. Queen Orda, the hierarchy of light, and the Venus Angel Force extend their most gracious greetings to all assembled at the Look to Venus Morningstar Revelations Conference, now being held on the slopes of beautiful Mount Shasta in Northern California this July 9th, 2022. I am their appointed messenger, Victor Fleet Commander Valiant Thor, who now shares the honor of addressing you. In the days to come, your dreams will become much more vivid. In these dreams, you will find yourself aboard my starship, the Victor 1, usually in a polar orbit at an inclination varying some 60 to 90 degrees to your planet's equator. Your NASA and other space agencies of Earth have identified my ship as the legendary Black Knight. It is saucer-shaped and approximately 300 feet in diameter. Our longitudinal flight path has shifted a few hundred miles to the west and has now taken us over your location in Northern California. We are moving from a southern to northern direction at this time, soon to pass over your North Pole. At such times of our passing overhead in the nighttime hours, you are invited aboard the Victor 1 to attend night classes. You will lose track of time as it is measured on Earth while you are attending such night classes on the Victor 1. You will find life aboard the starship a very rich experience, not soon to be forgotten. Despite your presence on board the ship in your astral body, everything will seem quite solid and substantial. As the pursuit and acquisition of happiness by the elect ones of Earth is a designated mission of the Venusian Angel Force, you will discover all that you could possibly hope for on board the Victor 1 or any other Venusian spacecraft. You will also meet many of the exalted beings of the Venusian Angel Force who work with me in carrying out my missions of enlightenment and peace throughout this quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. They all have a general human appearance, but there are some differences. Do not be afraid when you encounter my splendid and longtime friend and associate, Io. He comes from a distant solar system with nearly 100 inhabited worlds orbiting its central sun. As there are so many worlds, each one has simply been designated by a number. Io is about 6 foot 2 inches in height and weighs some 190 pounds. He has a reddish complexion, like the Native Americans of your world, but has only one eye. This eye spans the same distance that exists across your face with 2 eyes. He looks rather scary at first glance, cyclopean. He has the ability to move his eye back and forth from one side of his face to the other, so that nothing escapes his rapt attention. His intelligence rivals that of the most astute scientists on Earth. He has his being in emanations of light. Io looks forward to meeting you soon when you take your place as a student in one of the night classes. I, Valiant Thor, am from the planet that you call Venus, but which we refer to as Abahar. Along with me in instructing the night classes is another Venusian, Teal. She is about 5 feet 11 inches in height and weighs about 180 pounds. She is immediately recognizable by her bright green eyes and flaming red hair. She is musically talented in vocals and instruments and usually opens all assembly meetings with an enchanting song. Another female instructor you are likely to meet is Barian Leal from a large moon of Jupiter that I am not permitted to identify for you at this time for security reasons. He is about the same height as Teal, but weighs only about 125 pounds. What makes her stand out is her light blue skin color. She also has sharp blue eyes and even bright blue hair, shoulder length. This is common for most of the inhabitants of lunar colonies, no matter what their parent world might be. Her area of expertise is diplomacy, getting people to talk with one another, find common ground, and provide spiritual enhancement to life for all peoples. Our space navigator and engineer, Ilia Dorina, is considered the most advanced scientist in our space quadrant. He will acquaint you with some of the more advanced technology aboard Victor 1 and also provide information as to the 601 planetary members of the Galactic Confederation of Light within 51 solar systems. My Vice Commander Dawn, Thawne, the resurrected Dr. Frank E. Strange's, Communications Officer Jill, and many others of the Victor 1 spacecraft frequently sit in on the classes as observers and seconds, in the event the instructor is called away. From time to time, Unaya, one of 6 ascended masters that makes visits to Victor 1, will make a more frequent appearance. Unaya has been guiding the Earth from behind the scenes since the beginnings of life on your planet. He hails from the Gold Star planet at the fringe of your knowable universe. This is all I can say about these personnel and classes at this time. Stay strong in the power of the blue flame and the agape love of the universal creator and his holy angels. Your adventure is soon about to begin. We of Victor 1 believe that you have constituted one of the most important groups on the face of the earth today. Do not fail to take every opportunity to be kind to your brothers and sisters of your world. Let the light of the morning star rise in your hearts, thus filling your hearts with love for all. I want you to know that I love you all and wish you a most happy and illuminating Venus conference. May God bless and prosper the United States of America, protect her in the prophesied perilous days ahead. Amen.